We'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, you guys, to our Power Pack call. You're looking mighty powerful today, I might add. So I'm excited to see you guys, and we're excited because I know what you've got in store for you in the next hour or so, and it's going to move you forward in your business for sure. So, Roger, you want to start us out with a few opening remarks?
I would love to. It is so good to see you guys. So fun to see your smiling faces. Appreciate all of those who are sharing your video. And if you're able to, please do. And if you're not, we understand. But it is it's a lot more engaging when we can see your faces and interact together with you guys. Um, well, I'm just super excited. It's fun. This is second week with Kristen, third week in this power pack, and it's been really fun for me to watch. I'm sure you guys have done the same as you've gone in and entered some of your numbers and inputs into that shared document. Really fun to watch the commitment level of all of you to see, those who are working full time and making that commitment. I know, from time to time, some people have vacation here or there, or emergencies or family situations to deal with, and that's all part of life. And we, of course, understand and accept that, and are here to support you guys through all of that, including the pottery part of your business. So, but really fun. I think that was one thing that I noticed was the level of kind of hours committed, and it's just like we talk about that wonderful book called Grit by Angela Duckworth, when she talks about effort counts twice. And so, our efforts, this whole power pack is about the effort, increasing our effort, increasing our commitment, and letting the results follow from that. And I am 100% confident that we've got enough incredible content and training tips and tools and so forth to help you guys, that as you show up week to week on this and you show up in your business week to week putting full time in, that by the end of 90 days, you will see incredible results on that far right side of the spreadsheet that really tracks the results, which of course that's what it's all about, right? The results that we get in a pet's life when we can help a pet, the results we get in pet parents' lives when we help them, results we get in our own lives when we help ourselves, either to feel good about what we're doing and or to make income that helps us do other things in our lives. And all of that is part of the big picture of what this is all about. But most importantly, that commitment that you've made to yourself, that commitment that you each made to me to opt into this, which was to work full time for 90 days. And I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about, watching these results as they start to populate. I'm also excited about the number of new prospect conversations you guys had last week. There were many. It was really interesting for me. I don't know if Kristen plans to, to comment on this later at all, but I will just point out, I looked at how many new prospect conversations you guys were having this week. I looked at how many new customers you guys got this week. And I looked at it from kind of the perspective of that funnel that Kristen talked about last week. And, we got to drop more people on the top so that we get some people coming out the bottom. And it was really interesting. I mean, just scanning, if you saw the people that had a lot of conversations this week, they weren't the ones that had the most new customers this week. And it really wasn't too much rocket science. It's pretty straightforward. And so I hope today, as you guys engage with us today, I hope that you get some very actionable things that you can take to go help work on your business and really get to some traction this week. So I hope that every one of you, by the time we're done today, has at least one, if not a handful, of very specific actionable things that you're going to go do differently this week or more of this week, and that you understand not only what to do, but how to do it. So if you are feeling at all like you don't know either what to do or how to do it, you make sure you speak up in the comments. You make sure that as we're going through this today, that you leave here empowered to know what to do and how to do it so that you can make that full-time effort that you're putting in to your pottery business meaningful and end up with results. So with that, before I turn it over to Kristen, I actually have a very exciting announcement. You guys know I love announcements, and you don't expect maybe announcements on the Power Pack because, this is just a small subset of the field. But what do you guys think if I make an announcement today that you guys are the very first ones to hear since you are the ones who are making the full-time commitment? Should we do it?
Yes.
All right. All right. So you guys know, you've all heard at least last week, even if you weren't at PawFest, which many of you were at PawFest, and you heard Kristen speak from stage. You heard Kristen speak last week about how passionate she is about our business opportunity, the uncut diamond, as she's referred to it, the investing in Apple stock in the beginning, as she's referred to it. There's a lot of wonderful analogies that I think uh, bring up to all of us a real excitement and energy about that. And so I want to share with you guys that next Tuesday, so a week from today in the evening, I believe it's at 7 p.m. Central, Kristen will actually be joining us for a pop-up PBO, Pottery Business Overview. And Kristen will be in connection with us, partnering with us to deliver a PBO that will be off the charts, one that you will absolutely want to be there yourself and bring guests to be there as well. So again, I don't know, Kristen can comment. I don't think she's ever done this for any other company. And I think this just speaks to, once again, her belief in what she sees in us. She's got that trained eye to see the uncut diamonds, and she sees it in us, and she wants to help us and help other people to find us and be attracted to us and join us and get the results that come from that. So with that, let me turn it over to Kristen to lead us through today's Power Pack workshop.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Roger. And he's right. I have never partnered with a company to help them with an opportunity call. And I'm so excited to be doing that with you guys. And this is a really great segue for setting you up for the most success. I think the number one mistake I see network marketers, social sellers make when it comes to their opportunity calls is they announce the day of the meeting that the meeting is happening. And they assume everybody on their friends list will see them and show up that night. Well, we all know that not every single one of your friends is on your feed or on social media at the exact same time. People need a lot, like you feel repetitive. It's really important for you to get out of your head when you're posting on social media, because you might think I'm being really repetitive. Great, because not everybody sees all your things all the time. Okay. So even if you're like, I feel like I've said it already that there's, an opportunity call next week to go to, like, you don't know who's seen it and who hasn't. So in order for you to have maximum exposure at this PBO, I want you to see the PBO as the ultimate conversion tool of all the conversations you are having, which means this week, I really want you to think about, I want you to have a target in mind of how many people personally you are going to get to that PBO and be like, I am making a commitment to myself that I am going to get 10 people live on that call, at least 10 people live. If they say, I'll catch the replay, work really hard to be like, I totally understand if you're busy. I'll send you the replay. Or how about you and I connect at a better time? What's easier for you? Don't let them just disappear because that time doesn't work for them. But also respect their time enough to let them plan for it. Okay. I think when you just post on your feed and like, hey, it's happening tonight, you're betting on somebody having no other plans. Guys, people are busy. What's the number one objection that people have to joining a business? I'm busy. So you have to, if you want to talk to busy people, which everyone's busy, you need to honor their time by saying, hey, this next week at this time, this place, message me. I'll get the details to you. Here's why you should be there. Here's why it's compelling. And we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to help you all of this week. I want you to think about, all right, I'm going to fill up the top of this funnel as much as possible so that I can get as many people who are interested to the PBO, and then I can convert them, because there's something about the third party validation. You're not selling. Really, when they hear and listen, all you've done is just set the tone and give them and just talked about all they need to have is desire and curiosity. That's it, guys. You don't need to have like all the science for them. You don't need to be talking about all the nitty-gritty ingredients. All you need to do is get interest and curiosity and say, sounds like you're interested. Can you come at this time? Let me send you the info. And I want you to think of how you can thank them for their time. You are a business owner. So for me, I'm like, it maybe out of your 10 people being like, hey, my 10 people, just for coming, I'm going to give you a Starbucks gift card, or I'd like to send you a complimentary, treat or a sample or something. Incentivize them to be there so that they know this is worth their time. Okay. We want them live. All right. So the focus this week is this is so good because now we're on week 3. We're starting to compound. Okay. All these conversations, even if you feel they haven't yielded fruit yet, what you're getting is attention, and what you're getting is more eyeballs on your content. And we have to keep going back to that, because a lot of times if we're too into, the what's happening today, we're not looking back and being like, well, what's happened over the last 21 days that's compounding in my favor to get a certain number of people to the PBO. Does everybody understand how important your conversations are this week? Where if you wait to do the post next Tuesday, day of, don't come crying to me or anybody else that nobody came. Okay? Because we have to understand, if you're throwing a kid's birthday party, you got to give enough notice to the parents. No different. Okay? So this is a great question. Someone just said, Kristen, should we invite using a graphic as well through conversations? I find graphics are best in your stories. Those are the things that go up for 24 hours. That's the best place. On your grid, on your feed, it tends to read as spam to your audience or as an ad. We don't want to condition your audience to scroll through. Post a picture of your cute fur baby that causes a scroll. Be like, if you are a pet lover, there is something you cannot miss next Tuesday. Let me tell you about it. Okay. So keep your graphics to when you're doing your follow-ups and be like, hey, we talked last week about this. I'm so excited to have you there. Here's the graphic I'm going to send you. So I want you to see the graphic as a follow-up tool or as a stories tool, but not on your feed, because you are a human. You are not a catalog. People do not engage with catalogs. Does everybody understand that? Yes? Okay, cool. So knowing how important filling the top of the funnel is this week, and really every single week, this is just part of your business operating, like this is your daily method of operations. Every day you're talking to people and you're writing posts on social media. I was looking through the posts and I noticed there's 2 areas where you have the most natural leverage that I'm not seeing everybody treat as a non-negotiable. So where's your lowest hanging fruit? Someone asked a great question, so I want to answer this. They're like, well, what is the function of my stories? What do I put in my stories? Your stories, so you have your feed and then you have your stories where it lasts for 24 hours. And I want you to see this as, by the way, your stories is the most powerful selling tool to have. Many of you kind of get in your head of like posting or selling on your feed and you're like, I don't want to look like a salesperson. The most organic place to sell that creates natural conversations is being in your stories. And I want you to make it a point of posting in your stories 5 to 7 times a day. Now, you might freak out at that. I'm going to tell you exactly what to post. You ready? Post your morning coffee. Good morning. What do you take in your coffee? Have a little question box. You're conditioning your audience to answer questions and talk to you. This is good. The more we have people talking to you, the more they see your content, the more it opens the door for you to create curiosity for future business conversations, okay? Your morning coffee. I'm assuming everybody here has a pet. Every morning, you should be filming yourself feeding your pet. Every morning. It's just what you do. Be like, good morning, prop up your phone and say, good morning. I'm just here creating my food here for my sweet pup, Hank and Luna. Don't be afraid to talk about the ingredients and be like, I'm just going to sprinkle this over. Well, Luna has sore joints and this is so good for her. And this is just something I love doing. You're not selling. All you're doing is just talking about what you're doing. That should feel natural for you. Again, people are coming to your stories. I want you to know this. People are coming to your stories because they want to know more about you. So let them in. They're coming into your house. They want to see what your life is all about. If you take your dog on a walk every day, I want you to just take a quick story of you with your dog being like, getting our steps today, going around the neighborhood, drop your playlist. What's your favorite thing? Engage, engage. Don't just do a story that says nothing. I want you to think about, how can I invite people in to start conversation with every story I do? Okay. You feed your pups twice a day. Second time at the end, your evening, be like, all right, second of the day, or oh, we just got back from our time at the dog park, and look, I'm just going to reward my sweet Hanky for having great recall. Here's the treat. Oh, by the way, this treat is so great. Let me just show you the ingredient label here. Guys, it's not weird. It's so natural. I just want you to know that today's social media user is conditioned to product exposure and stories. They actually know that they're going to learn about products and things they can buy in your stories. So I want you to know they're expecting product exposure. Every single person should be really encouraged by that, because I think some people are like, oh no, I'm selling, oh no, I'm not being authentic, but it's just your life. It's just your life. And if you bought a new, I want you to think of other things too. If you like bought a new dog bed, or you bought a new squeaky toy, share it. It's all you are just becoming somebody who just provides value, and not in just one area. I don't care if you're like, hey, I'm trying this, and this is why it's so important. I call this the bridge of trust. Let's say you share your morning coffee. Every morning you share your morning coffee. This should just be, okay, so everybody should have at least 4 bullet points in their stories every day. My morning coffee, feeding my animals in the morning, feeding my animals in the evening, having conversations around it, my daily walks. We've got at least 4 here, okay? Another one is just, what is a product you're loving outside of pottery stuff? So you could be like, hey, I'm doing my meal prep and I'm really into this dish. Like, I keep making it 3 times a week. If you like it, here's the recipe, here's the link to it. I want you to know what happens to your audience when they see that. Or let's say it's every day they catch your morning coffee and you're like, hey, I take my morning coffee. I'm going to share mine, for example. I make mine with Fairlife milk, which has less carbs, way more protein, helps me feel better. I could talk about that. And someone could watch that and be like, oh, I'm going to look into Fairlife milk. And if they like it, guess what they see me as? They're like, well, I really like how she did her coffee. And now I drink my coffee differently because of how I follow Kristen. So, of course, if I really like this, then why wouldn't I like this that she talks about? They automatically, this is the bridge, they automatically bridge their trust to you as soon as you help them in one area that you think is totally unrelated. You're like, all I did was share my Monday night meals. And they're like, I love my Monday night meals thanks to you. And you know what? I keep watching every day. I keep watching you feed your dogs, and you talk about, like, you show your dog's beautiful shiny coat and that your dog is a senior dog and moves around so well. I have a senior dog. Okay. Like they start to make that connection. And I just want you to notice that as I'm talking about this, do you see how organic and natural and fun this can feel? All you're doing is just living out loud. That's all you're doing. You're just inviting people into your day. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be curated, because most people can't relate to fancy, pretty, and curated, because they look around in their life. They're like, my life is a mess. I've got 10 loads of laundry. Heck, talk about your 10 loads of laundry. And they're like, oh, great. You're just like me. In fact, I would say the more relatable you become, the more easy it is to talk about this business, because if they see you as somebody that is perfectly put together running a business, then they assume, well, you can run a business only because you're perfectly put together. I'm not. Look at my mess. But if they see your mess, they'll be like, cool, you can make money online while your life is chaotic. I can too. This is why transparency and letting people in is so important. All right. Give me like, I'm talking a lot at you. I've given you 4 ideas to post in your stories every day. Give me 2 more bullet points, 2 more things that you do in your everyday that you can put in, and give people some ideas here. 2 more things that you could do. Are you in the drop off? Someone does enrichment prep. Gardening. I love that. Get eggs from the chicken coop. Love it. Dinner grooming your pet. Oh gosh, I have this amazing like pet grooming vacuum. I could sell it all day. I love it. I should like actually I should probably share that. A book of the day. Someone said, I guess I need some routines, or your lack of routine can be a part of who you are. Being like, hey guys, it's a chaotic mess every time I'm here. Here's what you can expect today. Just show up. Okay. Packing my dogs for a dog show. Okay. That's cool. I would love to see behind the scenes of that. Like, I think it's so interesting. So often we write off parts of our life thinking that's boring. Nobody would want to see that. But I'm like, okay, I'm so curious about this dog show life. Tell me about it. I would like to, you guys, I love watching behind the scenes of things I would never do myself. Okay. Puppy curriculum, riding my motorcycle, self. Okay. Foodie pics, great. Messy desk. Okay. You guys have your ideas. I've at least given you 4. There are things you do every day that you can invite people into. I want you to also think with every post, you're to ask something that like engages, like morning coffee time. How do you take your coffee? There's a question box you can put up there and be like, how do you take your coffee? Or feeding my pups. What brand do you use? Like, or just be like, what is something your pups need? How are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Guys, this is so good. On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you with your pet food? You're not even asking, like, do you want to buy? You're just asking, are you happy? Here's how to know if you should be happy. Like, here are 10 signs. Like, so on the first slide, you're making your thing, being like, hey guys, while I'm doing this, rate on a scale of 1 to 10, just comment back to me how happy you are with your pet food. 1 being like, I'm so thrilled. 10 being like, I feel like I'm changing it every 6 months and I'm so annoyed. And then being like, hey, and you might actually, and then the next slide, I want you to hear this, guys. The next slide, the next story, you say, hey, you actually might not know that food is the problem. So I'm going to educate you on how to know if maybe the food is the problem. Here's a list of 10 symptoms in your dog that might point to it being a food problem. And here's why. So rate yourself again. And then every single person who responds, guess what you're doing? You're going to be of service to them and you're going to reach out and say, hey, Sarah, I saw that you commented that you weren't really happy with your dog food and that you had your pups were having a bunch of these symptoms. I'd really love to help you. Are you interested in learning more? I have a really simple solution. Don't be afraid to share your story and be like, you know what? Here's my story with my dogs. I'd love to share it with you. Do you have a couple minutes? Do you see how natural this is? Yeah. Is everybody getting tangible takeaways of how to sell and engage in their stories? Yes. I'm going to go through. I'm going to look at everybody's faces on FaceTime. Give me a nod. Okay. I see someone giving very happy 2 thumbs up. Does anybody have questions or need clarity on the importance of using their daily stories? And not just doing a quick photo, use video, talk, let people see your face. Okay, cool. I'm not seeing. Yeah, a sales link on stories, you absolutely can. Especially if you're like, hey, if you want to grab, always think about, I love to think about what is the ultimate introductory product that gets them in the door. So if you share the link of like, hey, here's my favorite treats or here's dental chews or whatever it is, you guys I want you to think about what is an easily accessible product. I could drop a sales link, and as soon as they purchased, I now have a conversation with them. I get a notification, I reach out. Hey, tell me a little bit more about you. Tell me about your needs. Tell me about your dogs. I want to get to know you. Thanks so much for this. Tell me a little bit more how I could be of service. Okay. So yes, you can share your links. Okay. But the best link you can share is I believe you guys have a quiz where somebody fills out like it's the pet profiles, right? Where
That's
yes,
right.
that should be the link you are constantly dropping every single day. I want you to drop that link in your stories and be like, because a lot of times people aren't comfortable with an immediate reach out, but they will go fill out a survey. There's some sort of like safety and anonymity to it. It's just consumer behavior. So it's like, hey, I know you're probably seeing a lot. Maybe you don't know what questions to ask me, but you could just fill this out real quick right here and it'll give you some answers. And if you'd like, it will help me give you some positive direction on how to best serve you. Every day, friends, you should be dropping that link in your stories. Every day. Is everybody hearing me? Every day. But you have to have, I want you to see it as like filler in your stories. You have like, here's your good morning coffee. I call it like the hamburger. It's like you have your value, your sell, and then your value on the back end. So value, it's like, hey, here's my morning coffee. Here's a funny thing I saw today I wanted to share with you. And then you have the sandwich in between, which is like, hey, I'm going to just prep my dog food. How are you feeling? Or prep my cat food. Okay, how are you on a scale of 1 to 10 with your food? Here's the link. And then something else to stack on the back of your day. It's like, hey, here's a meal prep. Here's something I'm loving. Here's a highlight of my day, right? You might not be able to put a clickable link in Facebook stories. You can just be like, comment link for me to send you the link. Don't let a roadblock become a barrier. Be like, all right, I can't share a link on my stories. What can I do? Well, I can say comment link and I will send you the survey. Find every reason. Not 3 stories per day, friends, 5 to 7 minimum. And I gave you at least 5 ideas that you can just have on repeat. Okay. That's all it is. I want everybody conditioned to just be like, here's my life. Here's my life. Here's my life. Okay. And if you're like, Kristen, I don't want to do that, I'll be like, cool. Then why are you on Power Pack? Because you all made a decision, right? It's like we all made a decision to get outside of our comfort zone and try things we haven't tried before. Okay. Yes, confirming these are stories, not reels. Reels stay on the feed, they don't disappear. Stories last 24 hours. Okay. Yes.
Hey, Kristen, there's a question. So, what goes on the timeline? Is it the same content but more in depth?
Yeah. So on the timeline, you have great question. On the timeline, you want to you're having people get to know you. So it could be like, hey, here's it's a little more in depth, or it's like you're offering like, hey, here's 5 things I wish I knew about pet food before my journey with pottery, or here's 5 things I wish I knew as a pet owner that I learned the hard way. Someone's going to read that and be like, cool. The reason for the feed is to get people to stop, read, learn a little bit about you, feel like they relate to you. And what's great is if you can create some curiosity. Here's a great example. A post could be, here's 5 things I wish I knew as a first-time pet owner that I've had to learn the hard way. Or here's 5 things I wish every pet owner knew. List them out. And then you can say, head to my stories where I'm talking more about it. You're conditioning your audience to go to your stories where it's behind the scenes, where they get to know you. I want you to see the stories as like, it's the non-curated fun behind the scenes. The feed is where you're talking about that's where you're presenting like, hey, and we're going to walk through this today. We're going to do some workshop time. Our second half hour of this is I'm going to walk you through writing a post that goes on the feed. Okay. So I want you to see stories as conversational, posts as a little more curated. Okay. Yes, the timeline is considered your feed. Okay. I've never watched
By
other
the way,
people's. Yeah.
Kristen, while you kind of just collecting your thoughts, I'll just summarize for the group, not summarize, but let you guys know. I went ahead and updated the tracker, that spreadsheet that we all put put your results in. For this week, August 19th, I modified one of those categories, one of those columns, because last week, while we were in the junior leagues, it said post every day in your stories this week. This week, I just changed it to say post 5 to 7 times per day in your stories this week.
Yep.
So that's a new update based on what Kristen is just challenging us to do. Baby steps, and now we're ready to start taking bigger strides.
Yeah. I love that you called it junior leagues. We're conditioning up into the big leagues. All right.
That's right. That's
Yep.
right.
But also, guys, please don't overthink your stories. I just want you, even if day one is just like, all right, I'm just gonna film my coffee, film the dog food. I'm just going to find 7 things to film so you just get through it. I'd rather work on you bursting through any limitations and barriers. I'd rather you get the activity done and then we improve the quality, okay? But I want you to condition yourself in the habit. Once the habit is ingrained, we get better at the quality, okay? Okay. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I want you all, at least for future trainings that we're going to do together, I want you to come ready to work. What does that mean? It means I want you to be prepared in a place where I'm actually going to be facilitating content creation time, where I'm going to walk you through how to create a piece of content that goes on your feed that gets somebody interested. And specifically, we're going to do this in a way that creates interest for the PBL. Okay. And so instead of just me talking at you and then you leaving the training, I want you to actually be working during the training while you have me here so we can problem solve live. Because I find it's too easy to get here, listen to what I'm saying, take a bunch of notes, leave, and then be like, what do I do? All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to screen share in just a second here. All right. Here we go. I've got the audience window. Guys, I think I figured it out this week. All right. Last week I know was a little messy. I apologize. All right. Do I have screen sharing capability? Yes, I think I do. Thank you. Audience window. Boom. There it is. All right. Here we go, guys. Can everybody see that? And can everybody hear me? Yes? All right, cool. It's centered. It's good. Okay. This is all about writing a post that creates curiosity and interest. I find too often we talk way too much and we write long blogs where people's eyes glaze over and they don't want to read that much of your post. The goal is we want to create interest so that they want to reach out to you for conversation. We don't tell them everything. The goal is you have to get them interested enough to stop their scroll. Your everyday person is on social media constantly like this. Now, because many of you are new to content creation, a lot of your people are conditioned to scroll past you. Okay. We can fix that. And how we fix that is you doing what I say. Okay. But we have to actually train your people, because if you've just been somebody who's been posting graphics, posting marketing materials, and just talking about your products, you've taught your audience to disengage and scroll past you. Now, you might be like, Kristen, is there any redemption? Yes, there totally is. I'm going to show you how. Okay. Okay. So every time you write a post, your first sentence has to hook them. Hook is always the first sentence of your post. I want you to think of it as clickbait. It's just like, you won't believe, like, think of those clickbaits, like, you won't believe what that celebrity looks like now. And you're like, ooh, what does the celebrity look like? And the next thing you know, you're down like, an advertising funnel and you're like, what happened? Okay. I want you to think about how can I stop someone's scroll to get them to want to read my content? You guys, there's something called Chat GPT. You can just go and look it up and say, give me 10 scroll stopping hooks for pet owners. You could say that and it will give you 10 ideas. You guys, technology is a wonderful thing. None of you should say, I don't know what to say. You can easily go to Chat GPT and be like, give me 10 compelling hooks for pet owners who are looking for online work from home. Okay, so here's a couple example of some hooks. Discover the untapped market that's ready for a disruption. Okay, this is speaking to, notice that this doesn't necessarily speak to a pet owner, but it speaks to somebody looking for an opportunity. And I want you all to know people are looking for pottery. They just don't know it. People are actively looking for the solution you have. And I want you to say this to yourself every single day so that when your brain's like, I'm annoying people. I'm being salesy. Nobody cares. I'm telling you, I'm in this industry. I know what people are looking for. And if you're new to this industry, you don't know, that's my job to tell you that people are looking. Okay. Why now is the perfect time to partner with Pottery. You have to talk about the sense of timing and urgency. There is timing for this. It's like, this is why I'm like, gosh, if you could get an apple early, wouldn't you? Right. And so it's like, there's an amazing opportunity, but you got to talk about timing. Why now? Like, instead of just saying, why joining Pottery is a great thing. Well, it's like, why going to Target is a good thing someday. It's like, no, you have to say why joining Pottery is why the timing is right now and it's never been better. You have to talk about timing and urgency. Another one is join thousands of people, of everyday people. We're saying every day. So again, we're not talking about like thousands of business owners, because we don't want people to be like, I'm not a business owner. This isn't for me. Nope. Join thousands of everyday people who are thriving in this new up and coming market. You guys are still an up and coming market. It's very exciting. It's a proven market, but in the direct sales model, it's up and coming, which is so exciting, right? Here's how you can start a profitable home-based business with minimal upfront costs. Notice we're talking to it's guys, and I don't want any of you freaking out if you don't get engagement on these posts. Why? Because you're seeing who in your market identifies as somebody who is like, ooh, I want a business. Ooh, I want to work. That's not every person that follows you. So don't expect like 100 likes, okay? It's okay. The goal is for it to be seen and visible. Okay. What if you can turn your love for pets into a thriving online business? Say more. Again, this gets somebody to lean in. Okay. Why the pet food market is set to explode in the coming months in the direct sales industry. Okay. Now we're talking about the direct sales industry, people who maybe have seasoned in it. And I guarantee 95% of people in the direct sales industry have no idea that there's a pet market. Zero. And if they were to see that, they'd be like, wait, what? There's a new thriving thing in direct sales. Everyone's always looking for new in direct sales, guys. You have the answer. Okay. Don't miss out on this time sensitive opportunity to partner with Pottery. All of these are examples of hooks. Okay. Do y'all see how this is kind of like you're calling out and speaking to a specific type of person. Okay. I just like this. Let's just keep it really simple. If you are a pet owner and like the idea of making money from home, then you have to read this. It's simple. We're calling out, are you a pet owner? Do you want to make money from home? You have to read this. Okay. And if we can't say making money from home, you can say, if you are a pet lover and like the idea of working remotely from home on your own time, then you have to read this. Okay. I always like story base. This one's good. I've never considered myself a salesperson, and I never thought direct sales would be for me. But when you find something that is so uniquely different than anything else that's out there, you can't stop yourself from joining an unreal opportunity. Okay, everybody take this one, screenshot it, take a picture of it. I don't care. Like if there's 500 posts that go out that say the same thing, I don't care. Because what that does is it creates market confirmation, being like, wow, if this many people are talking about it, it must be something worth looking at. Okay, it creates interest. It creates confirmation to the consumer. Wow, I've seen like 5 people say this. It must be something. Okay. All right. Here's our work time. I'm going to walk you through this. We're going to take a minute and you're going to craft your own post. It can be a hook. You can say, are you wishing for 5 things I wish I knew sooner? I find the hook often is easiest. You guys, if you all want to start with this one, if you're a pet lover and like the idea of making money from home, then you have to read this. If you all want to use that, that is fine. Or you can say 5 things I wish I knew before I joined Pottery, or 5 surprising things I've learned since, and I don't want you to say since becoming a pet pro because your audience doesn't know that. Say 5 surprising things I've learned since deciding to start an online business. Okay. 5 things so I want you to all take a minute. We're going to kind of time it. I just want you to write down one hook. It's like, hey, if you are a pet lover and would love the idea of making money from home with your fur babies, stop your scroll and read this. Take a minute, write down your hook. This is our active work time. Sorry, go back here. I love that Roger dropped some Chat GPT scroll stopping posts for pet lovers designed to capture attention on social media. These are so good. These are great value driven posts.
Melody had some others right above mine, but they're so easy to do. And that was my first query. I mean, I'm sure I could have modified it, 2 or 3 times and got 2 or 3 more sets. So it just was an example of how fast. I love how you said, Kristen, just go ask for some support. I mean, they even gave the not only the caption, but the suggested, image to go
Yeah,
along with it.
you guys, it gets to be so easy. Why not make money doing what you love? Start your pet-centric home business today. These are great. Love pets. Here's how you can earn from home with your furry friends. You guys, there's plenty of options. These are great. No one should say I'm out of options when you have access to Chat GPT. Just the hook. All right, we're gonna move on. Okay, we're gonna talk about speaking to pain. Oops, sorry. I'll back up here. I want you to think about what pain making money from online, making money from home would solve. So you can say, I'd be curious, what has it solved for you? Does the grocery bill feel, more stressful than ever? With school starting and the cost of school supplies, imagine having, imagine having the opportunity to make money from home, to pay for the extras, to pay, or even we're in an economy where it's like people are looking to pay for the essentials. Talk about, say, in the USA consumer or whatever, is like the average person is, lives paycheck to paycheck, or, has a $200 gap. This is, let me show you how. Let's see. What was your pain? I'm just curious, what pain has being a pet pro solved for you? I often find it's easiest to speak from our own pain. If someone wants to volunteer theirs in the comments to get other people's ideas going, you're welcome to. I want you guys to stay in your content writing session. And I also want to say this too. It's this is going to feel clunky to you at first because you're not versed in content writing. And that's okay. As a beginner, we are never great when we start, but we have to start to become great. Okay? So it means I'm embracing the clunky, the messy. Okay, paying your mortgage got you out of a job you hated and was stuck at. I love that. What, okay, freedom in what way? Is it Joy or Joey? This is good. Um, yeah. Ooh, Carol, you even said the supplements improved your dog's health, who was attacked by a coyote this summer. Holidays are approaching. It might be tough in today's economy these days. So good. Gas and food, living on retirement. I couldn't get a job due to disabilities. Trisha, I like that. Like, I imagine, so speaking to pain, I was at a job where I had a pay ceiling. I knew that I was limited by how many hours I could work. I was only guaranteed a less than 1% pay raise per year. So I find this opportunity that had unlimited earning potential for me. Here's why. Michael and Catherine, that is amazing. You're able to retire 5 years early. I hope you are loud about that. That is amazing. Like, hey, what if you could retire? Hook. Are your days going slower than ever? Like, are you just in a job you hate waiting for retirement? Especially, guys, especially if your audience, I'm speaking to Michael and Andrea, especially if your audience is around the same age group as you could be like, I was miserable counting down the days to retirement. So I found a solution that allowed me to retire 5 years earlier. If that's something you want, keep reading. That's your hook. That's so compelling. 10 months until you retire. Amazing. That's amazing. Okay. Great. Heather, I hope you're networking with a bunch of other breeders. I imagine you are. No other industry gives you a paid bereavement for over a year with a residual income. So good. All right. So now we're going to talk about the pain, like at a job you hate, limited hours, limited flexibility. We don't want to paint pottery as if it's not going to be work. They still have to know it's work. It's just trading for a different type of work, a work where it's like, hey, I am in charge of my own hours, where I put my hours, where I put my time. I love that, Krista. Like, I'm a military spouse. I want to be available for my kids. This allows me to do so. If my kids are sick and they need to be picked up from school, I can do that, right? So introduce the solution why pottery is the obvious answer. Pottery, and then this is where you guys want to say pottery is the unique opportunity to partner with. You guys have to talk about the urgency. And you have to talk about why the pet industry is what is it, Roger? Is it $100 billion industry? It's insane.
Yes, over 100. It's about
Over a
140
hundred.
billion dollars
You
just
guys,
in this country alone, let alone other countries. So
yeah, you
yes.
guys just be like the pet food industry is $100 billion industry. And we are the only, you guys can say we are the only company that has cornered the direct sales market, which means we are positioned for exponential growth. So if you want to be a part of a company that's going to have exponential growth in market, a proven market, where we have integrity in our value in our products and we don't negotiate and we have our core values, then you have to talk to me. You have to comment, right? So you introduce this, why pottery is the obvious answer. It's unique positioning in the direct sales market, quality ingredients and the quality of the company, and the timing of it. These three. Oh, and let's also just, okay, so then we go there. So introduce the solution. Guys, take a couple minutes for that. And we're going to overcome the objection. That's so good, Michael and Andrea. You guys are bringing in great comments there. Michelle, I think that's a really compelling and powerful story that you're a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids with autism. You can't work outside and now you have a career. Michelle, that's a really beautiful story. I really hope you share how this opportunity of just taking care of your kitten turned into this beautiful opportunity to be a present stay-at-home mom and give your kids the care and attention that they need, and you earn full-time income. You've got to talk about that, because someone else who follows you also feels like they are out of solutions. Okay. Introduce solution. Then we're going to overcome the objection. Okay. So you're like, pottery is this. Here's a unique timing. And be like, you might think, now we all are busy and you might wonder how much it costs to start. That's the amazing thing. No startup cost. Just being willing to put in the time and earn while you learn. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to know the ingredients. You just have to have a desire to help people and love pets. If that's you, let's talk. That's overcoming their objections. Like, it's always time, money, and the commitment. So you have to actually help them understand, all right, your time's already being spent at a job you don't like. So might as well put time somewhere that gives you a better yield, future yield for your time. Okay. You're not insinuate. We don't want to say like, come over here and then you're not going to have to work at all. It's like, no, come over here where you're more rewarded for the time you put in. Okay. Because what we don't want to attract is people that are like, I don't like working. I'm tired of the job and I just want to sit around. So I'll go over here. No, 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 no. You want to attract driven people who want to see their earning potential go further with time they're already putting in or desire to put in. That's really important. Okay. And if they say and it's important for you to say you don't have to be a salesperson, you just got to care about people. And if that's you, I can help. And we talked about this at Paw Fest where I said, can you point to the right? Can you point to the left? Can you point up? Yes, then you know how to lead somebody. You can point people to resources. You can help someone. All right. And then you wrap it up with a call to action. If you want to learn, if you want to take advantage of this incredible opportunity and you'd like to ask me questions to see if it's a good fit for you, comment info. Because what we want is, again, we're selling the conversation. We're not selling the decision. I don't expect somebody to make a decision from a post. What I do expect is for them to want to ask more questions and for us to sell the conversation, for them to gain clarity. And then from here, guess what? You're going to get to know them, figure out like, what is it that you want to change? What's important to you? Would you be, and then from there, guys, if you can get them to sign right then and there, great. And be like, cool. Do you know anybody else? Get them excited to tell people and be like, look, we have this business overview coming up. Let me help you get there. Let me help you get there faster. Do not wait. Okay. So if you're like, once you have this written down, and I think I'm going to send these, this is being recorded. I can also send the slides, Roger and Tammy. I will send the
That'd be
slides to you
great.
guys.
Yeah, we can include it. We'll send a recap.
Yep.
Melissa sends a recap each week
Great.
with the link, and we can include these slides. That'd be great.
Yep. So that was your work time. So you're going to take the body of what we just walked through, craft it. Guys, don't overthink it. Okay. Find a picture of your cute fur baby or of you with your fur baby or of you living in the solution that Pottery has given you. So let me give you an example. If you're like, Pottery has paid my mortgage, like, have a picture of you posing with your dog in front of your house. Get your spouse and be like, come out here, come take a picture of me in front of the house. Cause I want to talk about how Pottery is caring for in this. So this is not in a story. This is on your post, guys. This is on your post. Okay. And you can even say in your comments, like, go check out my stories for more. And don't be afraid to like unpack your unfiltered version of your story that you couldn't fit in your post in your stories and be like, hey, if you saw my post today, I talked about this. And this is why I'm so passionate about this. This is what really gets me going and up in the morning, right? Find a picture, you set your post to public. Set it to public so that people can see it. Okay? If you're like, but my face, well, you're a business owner. We have to be willing to show our face, right? And you can decide what you want to share, but this post does need to be public so people can find it, right? And then you want to go engage. Go talk to people. As soon as you post, guys, go scroll in your friends list and find at least, we talked about this last week, you go talk to at least 15, 20 people. Hi, how are you? How's your day? Hey, how's it going? How's this? Doesn't have to be weird. Just be conversational. What does that do? It tells the algorithm, Facebook little robot goes, oh, I see that Christy's being social. We'll make sure that everyone that Christy talked to goes and sees her. We're going to push this post that she just made in front of those people. Okay? Go talk to your target market. Go talk to people on your list. Okay? All right, I'm going to send this to the team so you guys can look through this, because I know I moved quickly, but I really wanted you at least in the muscle of working while we are together. And we might do more of this, because I don't want you here just nodding and looking at a screen. I want you engaging. Okay. So I want you to do at least, you're going to post this today. Do at least 2 more posts before next PBO. And then again, but in your stories, guys, you're talking about the PBO every single day. In your
And
stories.
you're talking about 2 to 3, you're talking about 3 posts about the PBO.
Yeah, 3 posts
Okay.
about the opportunity.
About the
About the
opportunity.
opportunity. Yep.
Because in this spreadsheet, they've committed, or not committed, but what we've got as the guidelines is 1 live per week, 5 posts per week, and now this week, 5 to 7 stories per day. That's
correct. Yep. And
okay.
of those 5 posts they do, we want 3 of those posts to talk about the opportunity. And we're doing that at the quantity we are because you're going to be announcing the PBO next week. Does that make sense? You're conditioning your audience. Not every week is 3 business posts. We're kind of ramping up the content so that it aligns time-wise with the PBO. And if you're like, well, what do I talk about on the other days? You guys learned about the magic of Chat GPT. Give me 5 value posts for pet owners. Give me 5 posts, or give me five post ideas to brighten somebody's day who are pet owners in this age demographic and have these hobbies. Tell Chat GPT who your people are. You guys, I'm giving you permission to be lazy. As at least in your brain, with like, how can I make this easier in my brain? I'm going to leverage technology to make my job easier so that I can perform better. Okay. Cool. I'm going to turn it over back to you, Roger. I'm going to stop the screen share here.
Cool stuff. Okay, so at the beginning, I asked you guys, I suggested that by the end, everybody here should have at least one, likely more than one, actionable, tangible things that you can go do this week to fill those wonderful, productive full-time hours that you've committed to work. Is there anybody, and I mean this sincerely, is there anybody who is not sure that they could fill 40 hours of productive time based on what was shared today? And if so, put it in the chat quickly. We're going to address it quickly, but I want you guys to feel very empowered that you know what to do and how to do it with those 40 hours that you're committing. So we're getting out of playing office mode. We're getting out of printing business cards. We're getting out of chatting back and forth with our friends and, within our own groups, we're getting out. We're getting out and we're talking to people, and we are feeling confident that we know what to do and how to do it. And is there anything that came up? Nothing that I've seen. Okay, and I really do mean it. If somebody's got one, jump in. We got the how. I think this is Joe. I'm likely struggling with perfection, but it's just me. It's not just you. It's probably a lot of other people on this. And I loved how Kristen said earlier, this week, don't worry about perfection. Just take a picture of something, take the video, post it. You may have the copy totally wrong. The video may be off center, whatever. It's like just this week, get comfortable doing the actions, and then we can go someplace from there. But if you wait until it's perfect, we all know what will happen. It'll never happen, right? So excellent. Okay. Is there, Melissa, Tammy, anything before I just give a final kind of call to action here?
No, you guys, I'm continue to be in awe of all the nuggets of wisdom that are coming your way. I mean, you guys, this is serious life-changing, business-changing stuff here. So, and I love that you guys are ready to take action on it.
Awesome, awesome. Tammy, anything from
No, I'm reading through the chat. There's several answers to your question that you posed, Roger. So just wanted to point that out. The question that you asked, there's a lot of people posting their answer.
Okay, so people do have some questions and or concerns.
Yeah.
Let's hit them. Yeah, go ahead. We'll take a few extra minutes. Can you read them?
I'm gonna go. They're posting fast, so hold on.
Yes, in-person conversations count. I caught one of them.
Struggling to find the right people. Will next week's PBO be on Facebook or Zoom? Zoom. The answer is Zoom. Zoom with Pottery. Trying to figure out how to get more followers.
Be of value to the people who follow you first. We tend to think of like, I need to go out and find more. Yes, but start with who already has your attention, the attention you already have. So some of you are like, I only talk to people in person. Be like, that's great. Time to get online though. And you have people that you are friends with, just start. And then if you are talking on person, being like, hey, are you on Facebook? I'd love to friend you. Guys, every single in-person contact, think about how to bring them onto your social media platform and say, hey, I'd love to connect more with you. Are you on Facebook? And friend them. We live in a very social media driven world. Nobody's going to be surprised by that.
Love it. There, Mike or Kathy, if you have another platform that has more traction, where should you spend your time? Do you mean another social media platform or a totally
we've got 40 some thousand on TikTok. Do we just abandon TikTok and focus on?
No, TikTok is amazing, guys. But that's a 40,000. Talk on it. Be like, hey, here's what we've got going. Here's what you need to know. Just take the kind of the stuff I was talking about and just apply it to TikTok. Is like, why are they following you? Give them more of what they want, and then make consistent calls to action. So do not torch that. That's amazing. Just think about, where do I want to send them next? It's like, hey guys, we have an amazing Facebook community for pet owners that have these questions. You can join us over there. Or hey, we're going to answer some questions here. I prompt you can. Woo! That's amazing. Don't torch that.
I hope everybody is, getting their questions answered either in the chat or the questions that you asked in the Google spreadsheet. I know it's a lot. There's a lot of people, but I really do. I mean, this needs to be the whole objective of this weekly Zoom is to help you be the most effective and efficient in the full-time commitment that you've made. Because there's nothing worse than spending the full time and then getting to the end of 90 days and going, I didn't get anything out of it. And so our objective is to make sure that you guys have wonderful direction, clear direction, what to do, how to do it. And then you apply that to those 40 hours that you're putting into your business and just watch what will happen. Just watch. And I just can't wait to see, as we compare the results by the end of 90 days. I'm going to be really focused on the right-hand side of that spreadsheet. Right now, we're focused more on the left-hand side of that spreadsheet, right? Get the inputs, put the do in, get the work done, put in the hours, all that stuff. Come to this so that you know how to use your time more effectively, and then just wait to see what happens on the other end of that. I heard at the beginning, Kristen gave a challenge of inviting, I don't know if you said inviting, I think you said bring with you 10 people, which means you have to invite a lot more than 10 if you're going to bring with you 10, because not everybody says yes to the invitation. So I hope we blow up the PBO next Tuesday. Can't wait to be back on this meeting with you guys next Tuesday. Sorry we ran a couple minutes over. Thank you, Kristen, once again, for all of your wonderful contribution to this. And until next week, you guys keep going and have a fabulous week.